So we're talking about equity, and I'm talking about equity anywhere. So you might be thinking, boy, this is going to be boring. It's not boring, bro. This is super important. So equity means anything you have of value, including cash. And so what I want to tell you is when people can figure out how much it costs to run a business, small business, medium-sized business, when they're talking about a business venture, they don't take into account equity cost a lot of times. So in particular, inventory in businesses like the one I had, that's all inventory up there, stuck costing me money. But also in real estate, I used to do a lot more than I do now because someone took all my money away. But when you have a house and you're looking at taxes, insurance, maintenance costs, obviously interest, and you also talk about depreciation, which means how much the AC costs you every month as it lowers in value, which means every month an AC unit costs you $100 whether you spend it or not, because it's now worth $100 less, which means the cost of the AC times $100 equals the number of months that is their lifespan. And that might be too complicated and it doesn't even matter. Point is, we're talking about the equity in the house, we're talking about equity in the inventory. This costs you money. So perfect example is real estate. Let's use real estate as an example. You can see exactly how equity costs add up. So you've got the house, you're figuring in the taxes and the insurance and all these things, and you say, okay, my holding cost on this particular property, $3,500 a month. That's a lot, bro. You're in Texas, your property tax is $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month. What the hell? Going nowhere. Point is, when you do that, a lot of times you miss the equity. Let's say you had the property for a long time. Let's say your equity is up to 300 grand in the house. Let's say it's a $600,000 house. You've got 300 grand in equity in it. You've had it a long time. You rented it out, whatever you did. So when you figure out those monthly costs, most people don't take into account the equity cost. And that means how much that 300 grand could be earning you somewhere else. People argue with me all the time. They're like, well, you're not really spending it because you have, bro, if you could put that 300 grand in a 5% high yield savings that's still liquid, you can still use for your businesses. If you can stick it in there at 5%, which you could have last year, and you make $15,000 a year, then you divide 15,000 by 12, you get whatever that is, $1,300 a month. That $1,300 a month is, I don't know if my math is right. My point is that's a holding cost. That's a cost you have to figure in there. Your taxes are $2,000 because you're in fucked up Texas. Your insurance is $200, $300 a month because it's gone up. Interest cost is $900 a month on the debt, on the mortgage, or the second, whatever you're doing, flip loan. And then your equity cost is $1,300 a month because you could be making 13. Technically you're losing it. That's something most people don't think about. It's a weird thing to think about. And I want you to focus on that when you're talking about inventory and real estate. Thanks for learning the truth and admiring me.